Now, before you turn your torch on, make sure you have everything handy that you're gonna need when you start to solder this. So make sure you have fire bricks, different types of fire bricks around. Make sure that you have cross-locking pliers. You might want to set up with those. Make sure that you have T-pins around. Spend the time to set these up. Don't panic. You have to keep heating up the piece of metal while moving those pieces of solder back to the joint.
I'm going to do a practice solder joint, but you'll see a slightly different practice technique. If I pick them up with the flux brush, then I know all the little chips have flux on them. You should see a silver line run through your solder seam. Butt joint. We're going to take two flat pieces of sheet and solder them together. Remember, both pieces have to come up to temperature. Solder is melting. And we're done.
We're going to show you a technique called sweat soldering. So we heat up so it turns white, bubbles up, the moisture comes off. We just need to ensure that it gets onto this bottom piece. It flows nicely, seamlessly onto the bottom piece.
Okay, the second way to sweat solder. Patty showed you the correct way to do it. This is going to be I'm in a hurry and I want to get it done right now technique. Just melts enough to stick to the silver, and a little silver line flows right down the edge.
Now we're going to try using the third hand to solder. This can be tricky, and now I need to make sure that the connection is light tight. Heat up my piece, and then I'm going to attach these pieces of solder. Just drop them in there. That means the solder flowed and we didn't overflow. So we have a really strong joint right there. Some people prefer to ball up their solder. This is a more advanced technique of soldering. Now I can combine two like so. So just get used to placing it with heat, because the flux is what's going to attach to these little pieces of solder and hold them onto the piece.